What's going on, culés? Welcome back to BlaugranaZzone, your destination for all things Fútbol Club Barcelona. We're just going to jump right into this week. Very busy week, especially for me. New job, school. I haven't been able to make the uploads as often as I would like to. I know I missed an upload for the UCL game that we had this week, but that's why I'm doing this video. This is not the El Clasico preview. That will be coming on Saturday. This is just to recap what's been going on since my last upload, which was after the Girona game. 2-1 victory for Barcelona. I talked a lot about how our luck was continuing, how we could look going into the UCL, which happened this week, Tuesday. It was a very dominant performance. We had Dro Fernandez starting, making his UCL debut. That game was just full of bangers after bangers. It was Barcelona versus Olympiacos. We ended up winning 6-1. I think the one goal that they scored, in my opinion, it was a lot of luck. And that's just a little bit of my bias showing, right? But just to recap for you guys, against Olympiacos, we had Chesney in the goal. From right to left, we had Jules Koundé, Pau Cubarsí, Eric Garcia, Alejandro Balde. I liked this defensive lineup. Even though it got exposed maybe once or twice, I think those are holes that we can eventually fill. We had Marc Casado and Pedri as our CDMs. And then we had Lamine Yamal, Joe Fernandez, and Fermin Lopez, as well as Marcus Rashford at the striker. This is a very interesting lineup. Seeing Fermin Lopez at the left wing, seeing Joe Fernandez get an official start, especially in the UCL, was very nice to see. Pedri obviously dominating the midfield. Beautiful game. Lamine Yamal had a goal. He scored a very beautiful, calm, and composed penalty. Robert Lewandowski, please take notes. Marcus Rashford had 2 goals. He could have easily had more. Very good performance from him. Fermin Lopez had 3 on the night. Very, very, very fantastic comeback performance from Fermin Lopez. I think everybody was shining this game. It was just a very fun performance overall to see the guys go back there, especially after the hard loss against Sevilla, and just barely winning against Girona in La Liga. It was very nice to see our team get their footing like this right before a Clasico, which is a very big game. That's no secret. What does still concern me is the defensive holes that we have. We're obviously still missing Raphinha. We're obviously still missing a very good Dani Olmo. But seeing Dro Fernandez seamlessly walk into this cam position and just dominate, silky smooth, good passing, good vision. He got the ball taken away from him once or twice, but this kid is 17. He has a lot to learn, and he has a lot of time to do it. So I think this was a very promising performance. Like I said, Fermin Lopez hat-trick, take a bow. Beautiful assist from Joe Fernandez for one of those goals. Marcus Rashford had 2 very clean goals as well. This was an everybody eats game, right? And obviously all of our attackers had goals and assists, which I think was actually very perfect for us. We need that right now. Our guys could use this boost of confidence, right? And I think that's exactly what we're going to be taking into El Clasico this upcoming weekend. Like I said, Joe Fernandez had a very spectacular game, 17 years old, making a UCL debut. Fermin Lopez was player of the week for the Champions League, which I think that speaks volume to the kind of player that he is, especially when he's on, right? He knows that we need him right now. I think he's desperate to jump into that role and snatch Dani Olmo's chain, and he's doing that perfectly right now. But what is worrying me this week is that the appeal to La Liga that Barcelona made concerning Hansi Flick's red card has been rejected. We will be without him on Sunday for a Clasico. I think that's a huge concern for the club. It's a huge concern for us fans that we're not going to have Hansi Flick on the sideline. Andreas Christensen was sidelined with an illness prior to the Olympiacos match, and he's still in doubt against Real Madrid. Raphinha, who was still suffering setbacks in his thigh injury, is said to have been in training today and played full contact with all his teammates. So we're expecting him to be back for a Clasico. Frenkie de Jong obviously did not start against Olympiacos, but he's expected to be available later this week for a Clasico. So I think these players either resting a bit or not playing that intensely versus Olympiacos, they're saving their energy for Real Madrid, which is obviously what we need to do. They're very informed right now. Mbappe is one of the most informed players on the planet. I think Lewandowski is still going to be ruled out for El Clasico. Dani Olmo's still out. We're still injury FC right now, guys. Ferran Torres is still out. And Lamine, who he goes through bouts of having pain in his groin, no more pain. He does have pain. He's very up and down. Obviously, long-term injuries like Marc-Andre ter Stegen and Gavi have been affecting our team, even though the ter Stegen injury affected us positively. We got Joan Garcia out of that. But now we also have Joan Garcia being unavailable. Frankie de Jong is expected to sign his long-term contract until 2029. And I've also seen rumors of Hansi Flick possibly signing a contract extension as well. That would be amazing. I think Hansi Flick is an incredible coach. I know people have been calling for his head after the loss against Sevilla and not looking too strong against Girona. But nonetheless, I think our team is very dominant, very sure of themselves right now, right? The spirit that we took from that game against Girona is what we need to take with us to practice, and it's what we need to have with us for El Clasico. So these are just my thoughts on the news that's been going on this week. Obviously, we're still injury FC. There's still so much going on with our injuries. I don't think we'll be at full strength until, like, realistically, January, February, because Raphinha coming back, we don't know if he'll be 100% right away. We want him to be 100% right away, but it's just not realistic to put a player under that kind of pressure, put his bones and muscles under that pressure right away. I don't think he'll play the full 90 in El Clasico. I think he might, at best, come off the bench. But the fact that we got to see a lineup of Fermin Lopez at the wing, Rashford at striker, Lamine Yamal at the other wing, Joe Fernandez in the middle, I think that's a formation that we could play with in El Clasico and even after that, because it just looks so seamless. Until a team can crack it, we should just keep that. I think that was a very big positive. I like Marc Bernal minutes as well. Marc Bernal's a player that I've been looking at since really last season, right before he got injured. I thought he was fantastic. I want to know what you guys are thinking in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking ahead of this weekend, ahead of El Clasico. I'm going to make another El Clasico preview on Saturday with some expected lineups, news before the game. There's been a lot of talk before the game. Quotes from Courtois, Lamine Yamal, and Ibai were on stream today talking on some show. There's a lot of buzz right before this El Clasico game, and it's starting to really bubble up, whether it's talk about controversy with the referee, all these clubs protesting the La Liga match in Miami that got canceled now. Everyone wants to talk about Barcelona. Everybody wants a piece of Barcelona. Well, Real Madrid had that opportunity this Sunday. So let me know what you guys think in those comments. Watch out for that video coming this Saturday, the preview for El Clasico. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Get active in those comments. I want to know what you guys think of the state of our team heading into this weekend. And as always, VISCA Barça.